Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now in today's video, I am going to show you how to do answer writing for political science. Okay, so this is the type of format that I followed for my answer writing in political science, and I got 100 in my political science class 12 board examination. So I think you can take reference from here and try to make your own answers as well. So this is just a framework. Like I'll just show you how to attempt. Like there are 2 markers, right? There are 2 markers, 4 markers, and 6 markers as well. So I'll just show you how you can structure each one of them. Okay, so let's get started. First we get the MCQs, right? In the paper, I just checked the sample paper for this year and the pattern is same. It's just the same that we had last year as well. So first that we have MCQs. See, like never make the mistake that you will just write A, B, C in MCQ. That is a very grave mistake, I would say. What you should do is you should write the entire option. Always, like whatever the answer is, please write the full option. Otherwise, it creates a very bad impression on the examiner that this child is not interested. They're only writing A, B, C. What does that even mean? You're supposed to write the full option, okay, while you're writing or attempting MCQs. Always write the full option in the answer. Okay, so let's move on to 2 markers. Now, see, 2 markers, don't make it too lengthy, but at the same time do not make it like just 2 lines. That would be pointless. It can be a small para, like at least 4 to 5 lines paragraph it can be. Or you can do one thing, you can just give an introduction, like the reasons behind XYZ is this. So over there 1 2. So for 2 markers, I would say if your points are like at least 2 to 3 line points, then 2 points are enough. But if you're seeing that your points are 1 line point, then you can give 4 points. Do not make it like I'm giving 3 points. No, either give 2 large points, or you can make it 1 2 3 and 4 small points. Okay, keep that in mind. This is where it is a little bit large, like at least 3 lines each point. Otherwise, what you do is 1 line, 1 line, 1 line, 1 line, kind of you can make 4 points at least. So now let's move on to 4 markers. Now 4 marks, I would say the 4 marks question answers, they and the 6 mark question answers, they do not have much difference. Sometimes you would find 6 markers that came in previous year in 4 markers, and 4 markers that came in previous year in 6 marks. So there's not much difference in both of them, but there's a little bit like the structure a little bit difference you can make in that. Like see, when it's a 4 marker, you can give an introduction. Say introduction is a must. Like if you're writing something, give an introductory line. Like if there's reasons behind this, like if I remember the consequences of the fall of the USSR, right, or the consequences of the Cold War, you can just give reasons are as follows, and then over here you can write each and every point. See, 4 marks it is, so you have to write at least 4 points, and each and every point has to be long. Like it cannot be like 2 line each point. No, you cannot do that. At least 4 to 5 lines. Each and every point has to be 4 to 5 lines. All right, and then you can give a conclusion. It is not mandatory, but it is good if you give a conclusion. It looks good, right? Now in 4 markers, there's something more you can do if you have the time. Again, I'll press this, that if you think you are running out of time, please do not try to give subheading in your 4 markers. But if you think that no, I know the answers and I have my time, then it will make a very good impression on the examiner if you are giving a subheading for your 4 markers as well. I remember in my exam I gave subheadings for 2 4 markers and for I think 3 6 markers. Yeah, there are 4 6 markers, right? Yeah, I gave subheading for 3 6 markers and for 2 4 markers. So if you have the time, try to give subheadings. Practice making subheadings. You're supposed to keep your subheadings ready. You're not supposed to think your subheadings during the exam. So now when you're giving your pre-boards, that time, try to write your answers in this way so that you will have your practice. What can you do in this? If you're making this, then again same way. It's like introduction you will give, then you'll write subheading and you'll write at least 4 lines, again next subheading 4 lines, till, and you have to continue till 4th point. 4 marker, please do not make it less than 4 points. At least cover 4 points. I would not tell you to go for 6 points, but if you can write 6 points, there's no problem with that, but please keep the time in mind. Okay, suppose you have a 4 marker, you can give subheadings also, but you can also do one more thing, and you might have heard your teachers say, or you might have heard tutors in YouTube say it, to make flowcharts. In humanities, it becomes important to give flowcharts. But then again, I would say for 4 markers, giving flowcharts, it is not mandatory. because you have to keep one thing in mind, that is time. And making flowchart can take your time. So what do you do then? What I'll say is, while you're making a flowchart, suppose some kind of consequence you're writing, so just write consequences, okay, of this, okay, and then you just make it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 marks, right? 4 reasons, and just state reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, reason 4. And then later on, if you have time at the end, then box it out. That, do it at the end, okay? Do not write your answers and just start decorating your flowchart. That does not make sense. Flowchart is something that is a fancy, it is a luxury and it is not a necessity. So remember this, it will add charm to your answer sheet, but it should not be like this: I am making flowchart for a few answers and I'm not able to complete my paper, okay? That will not help you at all. So first, make sure that you have the time, then only make flowchart for your 4 markers. Let's say it is 2 flowcharts. You can, I also did this. You can make 2 flowcharts for your 4 markers, and for 6 markers, flowcharts is like kind of mandatory, because it is a 6 mark question, and what will the teacher look at? How much will you even write? And then the teacher would be like, okay, why should I give this person 6 out of 6, So what do you do then? You make the answer presentable by giving subheadings and by making a flowchart. I remember I gave flowchart for 2 6 markers as well. Yeah, I gave flowcharts for 2 6 markers, and I gave flowcharts for 2 4 markers. So that made, I think, 4 flowcharts in my paper. So and when the teacher looks at the flowchart and looks at your answer sheet, they will think, okay, this person has done put some effort. So that just shows your efforts. So that is the thing about flowchart. It just shows that you have practiced before and you have put in your hard work and your efforts. So the examiner will kind of, it might also happen that the examiner looks at the flowcharts, he likes it, he thinks the points are correct, and he will give you marks. That can also happen if the examiner thinks like that. So then you're lucky, then you get full marks. Maybe you did not explain very well, but your flowcharts showed that no, this person knows the concept, and you get your marks. So this is the advantage of flowchart, but do not run after it. Do not get crazy that I will have to make flowchart, I'm not able to make flowchart. No, that is not something mandatory, but it does create a good impression. But always make sure first you are done. What I did, a smart trick, I would say, smartness. A smart trick: leave space. You write your answer. You suppose you started your 4 marker or your 6 marker. You wrote your first 4 marker, 6 marker. You wrote the answer, all right. You left some space. Leave this much of space between 2 answers, okay? And then at the end of the paper, when you're okay, I have half an hour left. If it is like this, I have 15 minutes left, and then you make the flowchart. How much space will it even take? Do this. I would say this is like the best thing that you can do. Write all your answers first, and at the end, yes, always at the end, make your flowchart. Leave space for it. Leave space. There's no problem. The examiner will have no problem with you leaving some space, okay, in your answer sheet. You can always cut it off at the end if you're not able to make it. But if you're able to make the flowchart at the end, that's good. But always do it at the end. Do not leave any valuable subject matter for your flowchart, okay? Flowchart is additional. Remember that. All right. And for this, again, you need to practice. You need to have answer writing practice. Do not be like, I will write directly in board exam and I'll be able to write it. No, you need to practice writing answers. You need to practice making flowcharts, concise flowcharts, not huge, but concise flowcharts. And you need to practice writing subheadings. Then only will you be able to do it in your exams. Okay? 6 markers. For 6 markers, what you have to do? First, you have to write an introduction. That is about 2 lines introduction. Then you start. See, in 6 markers, you are supposed to keep this in your mind that I will give a subheading, okay? I will not lose out on the subheadings, because it is a 6 mark thing, What makes your 4 marker and 6 marker different is that 6 marker is supposed to be a little bit lengthier, and you are supposed to be giving a subheading in it, okay? A subheading becomes important in this because it's a 6 marks. The teacher might feel, okay, even if I've written a good answer, it's just kind of cramped, and he might be like, okay, I'll just give 5. But if you are structuring it well, you are giving subheadings and you're writing it, you gave a subheading and you're writing at least 5 lines or 4 lines explanation for each and every subheading, then they will surely definitely give you a 6, okay? So you write a subheading and you explain. Again, you give subheading, you explain, so it continues at least 6 points. Again, this I will emphasize. When it is 6 marker, you write 6 points, or you write 3 points. Yes, sometimes 6 markers, 6 into 1, 6, that can happen. If you're writing 6 points, at least 4 lines each, alright? But again, if you're writing 3, so 3 into 2, so each point becomes 2 marks. So that time your each point has to be a 2 mark answer, that you have to remember. So at least 6 lines, each and every subheading has to be of 6 lines if you are writing 3 points. So remember that. Okay. Suppose this is your question answer you're writing. So you give the introduction, now you're writing the points. This is the subheading. Okay. These are the points, x, y, whatever the points. Okay. So what you got to do is the subheading, you will underline the subheading. Okay. Change the color. Each and every time underline the subheading in your answer script. And do not, do it with your loose hand. Use a scale to underline. Right? Use a scale and underline your subheading. Underline your keywords. Underline each and every keyword. Anything that you think can fetch you marks, you underline that. Anything you feel that, okay, I remember this and it is good that I remember it. Like dates, like name of places, name of presidents maybe, these things, underline it. Show it to the teacher that yes, I have studied and I remember it. So why will I not underline it? So always underline, okay? So this is it. And some people will also ask, should I draw a line after each and every answer? I personally would not recommend that because it takes a lot of time. First, you please write down all your answers, as soon as you get your paper, first 15 minutes, go through the MCQ very quickly and then you should move to the 6 markers. And then you should try to think about the subheadings. Because if you can jot down your subpoints, only the subheading, if you can jot down that time now, it will help you later on. Because later on you don't have to, like at the middle of the exam when you're writing, you do not have to think, okay, what will be the subheading, what can be the subheading. So try to prepare your subheading from before. Like use your PYQs and try to prepare subheadings from before. Or that time, examination time you can make, it is not that hard. But see, in case if you're feeling like I'm not able to give any subheading, do not be like, okay, my answer is wasted. No, even if there is no subheading, you can get full marks. But yeah, that does not mean that there's this answer which is so obvious that this is the subheading and still I'm not giving it. That will not work. Okay, there was this question in the first chapter, what happened when the Cold War ended? There are 3 consequences if I'm not wrong. So that has 3 obvious subheadings. So you are supposed to give these 3 subheadings. But again, at the same time, if you're being like, okay, I'll not give subheading in this, then you will lose marks. You're bound to lose marks. Anything subheading can be made and has been made before, you are supposed to give it. But if there is a question that you think is very little bit tricky, I'm unable to make any subheading out of it, it's kind of very much explanatory in nature, then you can write it without subheading as well. But then make sure you write it in points. Okay, do not write a paragraph. Do not make that mistake of writing in paragraph. It will ruin your answer. Write in points then. It's okay. You don't have to write subheadings, but write in points. Like 4 markers, you can, like I told you about 4 markers, you can either write it in points or write in subheadings. Subheadings would create a very good impression, but writing in points would not lose you marks. It's alright. But 6 markers, try your best to make subheadings. But that does not mean you compromise on your answer for just making subheadings, okay? Make sure you complete the paper in time. And you get plenty of time. 3 hours is like enough if you are not stuck somewhere. And that's why you should practice before. Practicing answer writing is very, very important, okay? That's why your pre-board examination is important, because if you are able to write your paper there in a structured way, you will be able to write it in your boards as well, okay? So this is it. Don't worry too much. Just write in a legible handwriting. Your handwriting doesn't have to be the most beautiful, but your handwriting has to be clean, okay? Your teacher must be able to understand. Do not just strike out in the... Striking out is something that people would hate. Do not strike out. Do not scribble in your question paper or answer sheet. Some people just strike out with pen in the... That is very... that looks ugly and that would deviate a teacher. Just take a scale and just cut like this. Single cut if you're cutting something out. Like I remember I cut off an entire answer. And how did I cut it? I cut it off like this. I scaled the answer like this and I cut it off like this. You can also do like this. But make it clean. Do not be like this. Okay, that does not make sense and that will just make the examiner angry. I mean, think about the examiner. They are checking so many copies in one single day. How will their head feel if they see something so, unclean? So make your answer sheet clean. Make it structured. Underline stuffs. And make the examiner feel like you have studied. The examiner should feel like you have studied. So underline everything that you think is important. Alright? Underline data, underline facts. But again, underline with a scale. Only with a scale. Do not underline without a scale. Yeah. So this is it. I hope this helps. And if there's anything else, any doubt you have, you can write them in the comments. And I will be open to any suggestions, anything. If you think that I can do this or that, you can let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to listen to any suggestions, any constructive criticism as well. Okay, so I hope you have a good day. Don't worry much, you all will do very good.